Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode. I am your host, Grady Tester. Today, we're going to be talking about upcoming releases in video games. I got my friend ever since we were like 4 or 5, too long, Scott Crocker.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. You doing all right today?
Yeah. Oh, this is...
I've never done this before.
Obviously, since this is the first episode, there's going to be things that, aren't going to be fully worked out, and we're kind of just jumping into it and going with it. So, yeah, there's obviously going to be some weird tension, but that's the fun part about it, something new. But we're talking about video games today, and
Yeah.
Scott is like the master at video games, considering that's all he fucking does.
Hey, you gotta do something when you're not at work. I just, go to work, come home, and just play for hours and go to bed every day. I mean, that's what I do. That's my thing.
A rinse and repeat cycle.
Hey, on occasion I go out and get fitted for tuxes and random crap like that, but, most of the time...
Get it fitted for tuxes for a wedding that's not yours.
It sucks. Let me tell you all about it. If you ever have to get fitted for a tux if you're in a wedding, you're going to be like, God, and then you have to pay a certain amount when you go to get sized, and then you got to go back and pay some more. So it's like, it's ridiculous.
You're paying to get a size for someone else's wedding?
Yeah, I know. It was kind of sad, but we were helping him out because he doesn't have a lot of money and weddings are pretty expensive. So,
okay. I didn't know how this, I don't know how, do I look married?
Neither do I. So, I know what, I'm a master at weddings now though. So,
I would say, how many have you been to now?
This will be my 4th one in 2 years.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was in 3 of them. Yeah, and then the other one, I didn't even know the people. I was dating a girl at the time, and I had to go for her.
So was it like a friend of her family's or something? Oh, okay.
See.
Oh, okay. You're multicultural here. See.
Yeah, that's my only word I know, and baño. Baño means bathroom, if no one knows that.
What bathroom have to do with it?
Those are my only 2 Spanish words I know.
I thought you meant like that's the only word I know in the bathroom. Like that's exactly what I thought you just said.
Oh no, that's the only other Spanish word I know.
That's the only words I use in the bathroom. See and baño.
Yeah, just randomly yell baño while I'm taking a leak.
Please do it in a public. Whenever you go for a trip, it doesn't even have to be somewhere here. Like, don't even go into a restaurant and go to the bathroom and scream it. Be on the road. Like, those like public rest stops on the side of the interstate?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's where you need to do that at. Because you've got people from all over the United States in there not expecting anything. And they have these like predetermined like mindsets about states. And here you are in Tennessee. And they're like, man, those people from Tennessee are just like hicks and rednecks and stuff. And then you got some guy coming in there just yelling baño.
Oh, yeah, I can just imagine they just go, ugh, baño.
Oh, God. Well, that's a good 3.5 minutes talking about everything but video games.
Hey, this is the first time, all right? So you got to kind of loosen up a little bit.
That's what she said.
Okay,
okay,
I know
so
it was. I was there.
What? How many people were there? I'm serious. Every time someone says that's what she said, everybody says I was there.
It's because they are. At least, if not in person, they were in spirit, just so you know.
In spirit? Okay.
They know everything that goes on in everybody's life.
So it's support. Okay. So we're talking about video games today, and in particular, let's talk about the one me and you are both... Well, I'm extremely excited about one over the other, but we're both excited about this one because we played the absolute living out of it growing up.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about now, man.
Okay, so we're talking about Kingdom Hearts 3 to be released in 2018.
Pretty excited about it, but I do have my fears on a little bit of a delay.
And, why do you think there's going to be a delay?
Well,
you got me wanting to say delay weird now. You said delay, and now I'm wanting to say delay.
I'm just trying to lighten the room here a little bit. No, the reason I think there's going to be a delay is... well, it isn't like Tetsuya Nomura in general, the director. He's the creative director, if no one knows that, of Kingdom Hearts 3. He's been over all of them so far. He's a real good guy, as far as I'm assuming. I've never met him before. I would love to.
Man, Tetsuya, man, we hung out last week and like talking, just sitting down chilling.
See, Square Enix, of course, has a long history. They are working on so many games, so you know there's going to be a delay at some point or another. It's just how it's going to be. Now, Kingdom Hearts has been delayed for, 2005, 2007, 12 years.
Is it really a delay, though? Like, if you think about it, because Final Fantasy 15 has been in the works for how many years?
Back when it was Versus 13, I guess it was delayed as Versus 13 until they changed it to 15, and then that's when, I guess it restarts, and then it got delayed again. And they were supposed to release in 2016, December, and they delayed it till February or March.
Right. So, like, my thinking on that process is, how, like, they go through all this marketing just to put a game out there. Say, for instance, Kingdom Hearts 3. They haven't given us much. They've given us a few clips here and there of, gameplay. And
which are badass.
They are amazing. But whenever they come out with that type of material, I think that's whenever, they're saying, this is coming out, prepare for it. Before that, we didn't have any.
I agree.
We didn't have anything to go on. It was just basically like, we're hoping Kingdom Hearts 3 will come out one day. And here and there, maybe somebody from Square Enix or Tetsuya Nomura himself would say, yeah, sure, we might be working on it. But
the thing is, I think it'll come out in 2018. I think 2018 will be the year. It's just, I think they're going to try to push it too close, like to the beginning of the year,
right.
And I think it's going to have to be delayed until after, which I'm cool with because I know how Square Enix is with games, and most of their games are gems. I mean, they're not even hidden gems. They're just, that Square Enix, they're a real good company.
Well, right, I've noticed that a lot because their marketing is phenomenal. I mean, they don't even have to do marketing. Like, all they have to do is say, hey, we're making this game, and the public themselves take care of the rest. But I think that's part of the problem is because they have such a high standard for making games that whenever they say, hey, say for instance Kingdom Hearts 3, they literally just released a game, like a little gameplay clip. And it was like, 2 or 3 minutes long.
Oh,
and that
you
was
mean
it.
the first one back in like 2013, 2014? The one where Sora picks up that Keyblade and then goes into Twilight Town and rides the Heartless? You talking about that one, or are you talking about one later?
I think
the original one, right when Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced?
Yeah, that.
Back when it was running on the Illuminos engine?
Yeah, and like, what happens is, they release this little spots of footage or whatever it may be, and they say, hey, this is coming out, and people get hyped about it. And then years go by, people kind of forget about it, and then they release a huge flood of information about it, like they panels, like they actually like get together and have panels and stuff and talk about the actual development of the game, and it gets people more into it, knowing that, hey, this is actually going to happen. So now we have this situation, if we were in Square Enix's, situation in their shoes, for say, you're gonna have like this certain standard to live up to. So now you're releasing these games, and you're saying, okay, we're going to release it in 2018, and then people start getting really super hyped and start demanding more and more, and then you end up going to not be prepared, and that's happened on multiple occasions with them.
It's not just them, though. Every game company does something like that. I mean, I remember when the division was pushed back like 3 years or something. It was like 2 years, 3 years.
But how high of a standard was it?
It was a pretty big one. It was supposed to, back when Ubisoft announced the division, I remember at E3, they were saying, like, they were showing some crazy amount of stuff. You could get on like a tablet and play as a drone and stuff. You can't do that in the final build, which I enjoy the game. It's just,
I'm trying to remember that game. Is that the one that they released that little like footage of like someone in a horse-drawn buggy?
No.
What is that game?
The Division, they're in New York, and there's a big virus.
Yeah. Okay,
but like they showed a part where, that you were going to shoot a window, and like as you shot the window, it was gradually just going to fall out. Like it kind of does in the final build, but it's not as intense as it was supposed to be. But I have no problem with the game. Runs pretty smooth. They fixed a lot of bugs. I play it now pretty constantly, so just waiting on Kingdom Hearts 3, I guess.
There's not really much to say about it, honestly, other than we've got this footage, and we've been told it's going to come out, and of course there's been development updates on it. But other than that, there's not really much for us to look forward to, really, except for the actual release. But we don't even know when that'll actually
Well,
be.
it's like, I feel like right now, I was watching somebody on YouTube, and he was going on about how he personally believes that we would have been playing Kingdom Hearts 3, but when Square Enix come out and said, Tetsuya Nomura came out and said something along the lines of, the company wanted us to do something else, so that's when they switched to the Unreal Engine 4, and they had to rebuild Kingdom Hearts 3, a lot of it from the ground up on that engine. So that right there took at least 6 months, I guarantee it, depending on how far they were in the game. It could have took a year.
I think that kind of goes back to what I was saying about the standards of gaming as it is. They start developing these games that they expect, to come out faster than what it normally would with the pressure they had at the time. So what happens is they may be like a quarter of the way, halfway. It doesn't really matter. They just start working on it, and then next thing you know, there's new gaming standards. Next generation comes out, and they have to rebuild because you're not going to be making money off these games you're releasing on like a last generation processing.
My biggest fear on Kingdom Hearts 3, I've been a long time Kingdom Hearts fan. I own all of them that's come out in America, and I own one that was released in Japan. Okay.
Yeah. We get it.
I love Kingdom Hearts. It's my jam. But the biggest fear I have with Kingdom Hearts 3 is where games are now releasing incomplete, and they're releasing DLC as keyword DLC, or an acronym, or whatever you want to call it. Downloadable content is what's ruining the gaming society. And I know you've probably heard this from every other person that's ever said anything about video games on the internet, but it's true. I mean, and I don't think Square Enix would do that. I don't think they're the kind of company that would do that. But then again,
you mean like with
other companies.
You mean with the Final Fantasy 7 coming out? You don't think they would do that? Exactly.
They're doing DLCs. Okay, the episode system isn't what everybody thinks it is. I've read and watched so much stuff on that. The episodes are going to be full games. As far as my understanding on that is they're going to be like the Final Fantasy 13. Like Final Fantasy 13, Lightning Returns, and 13-2. Right. I think that's what Square Enix is trying to do with Final Fantasy 7. So imagine the 3 discs of Final Fantasy 7. Each disc is its own game. I
think that was a fantastic segue I just threw in there. It's so smooth. We're going right into Final Fantasy 7 segue. Yeah, I think it kind of catches people off guard because you can't. I mean, back then, Final Fantasy 7 being on 3 discs, the only reason it was on 3 discs is because it was such a big game.
Well, you got to think. All right, now that game of that magnitude is now going to be brought to our standards nowadays,
right?
So it's going to be even bigger,
and it still can't fit on 1 disc, which is ridiculous. That's amazing, honestly.
I'm happy it's going to be on 2, because by the time I beat the first one, hopefully the second one will be ready to come out,
right?
So,
and I think the only reason people are freaking out about it is because when Final Fantasy 7 came out in 1997, there's a lot of sevens here.
You got that right, Chief.
it was 3 discs in 1 game, and you paid 1 set price for the entire game.
Yeah.
Multiple discs. And now we're paying $60 each disc.
Well, Square Enix, I'm pretty sure, is trying to make each installment, I guess that's a good word for it, for Final Fantasy VII. I think they're trying to make it the size or bigger of The Witcher 3. I don't know if that's true. Don't quote me on that. That isn't confirmed or anything. I'm just assuming Square Enix is the company that they are and how they are about games. I feel like they saw that it was a game of the year. They're gonna try to top it. I mean, that's what I'd do.
Right. Oh, and since you threw that in, don't quote me on that. If the watchers right now and listeners probably noticed at the beginning of the video there was a disclaimer, stating that the views and opinions stated in the video is only opinion or whatever. It's not like we're talking about ridiculous stuff. It's just the fact that, we want people to know that we're not basing 50% of the stuff we talk about may be based off of stuff we've researched. The other 50%, we just don't give a shit. We're just sitting here talking.
But yeah, I feel like with Square Enix being as awesome of a company, they're my favorite game company personally. Every game I've played, Dragon Quest, I think it's Square Enix. No, Nier Automata, Square Enix helped with that. I want to say they published it. I'm not 100% sure or they helped work on it with Platinum Games. That is a fantastic game. I didn't think I'd like it. I got it, just tried it out for a little bit, and you can blow her skirt off, so that's cool. But no, it's a fantastic game. I never played the first Nier.
There's this amazing feature. Skirts fly
you
everywhere.
self-destruct, and her skirt disappears.
Picking up women 101.
Just blow them up. Don't do that, guys. That's called. But no, fantastic game. Like I said, I never played the first Nier, and I actually used to I had a friend that played the first Nier, and he would go on about it, and I wasn't as big into JRPGs, but at the time, I didn't realize that Kingdom Hearts was a JRPG or Final Fantasy. I just thought it was a cool little game. I didn't understand genres back then. But I knew that was a JRPG, and I didn't think I liked JRPGs. I used to pick on him about it.
And yeah, Dragon Quest is Square Enix.
Thank you for confirming that. I was 98% sure, but I didn't want to say that and make everybody mad.
What do you mean the other 2%? What's the other 2%?
Could have been done by Nintendo.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Their art style
Because I want to say Nintendo might do Monster Hunter? Or who does Monster Hunter? I know Nintendo helps with Monster Hunter. Like, they put them on their consoles, but I don't know who does it. Maybe Capcom.
I think that makes sense. I don't know.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, Square Enix is a great company. They make a bunch of...
Capcom, yeah.
It is Capcom?
Yeah,
okay.
Capcom.
But, I mean, just their art style for games, the way they lay their games out, the story. I mean, I know Final Fantasy VII it made no sense really whatsoever until the end of it, pretty much. And then it all kind of went together. But as you're going through it, you were like... All right, so there's this Sephiroth guy and this chick named Genova and a meteor falling now, and then random weapons you got to take out. Why are there robots called weapons coming out of the ground?
Right.
I mean, and then it's like, towards the end of it, you're like, oh, okay, this all makes sense. All this has to do with Sephiroth, and Sephiroth basically put all this into play, and you're like, okay, all right. And don't get me started on the Kingdom Hearts storyline, because we all know that's confusing as hell.
God, no, we need a whole episode just for that.
No, we need more than that.
Yeah, we do, honestly. Each episode is going to be like about 20 minutes. So talking about just like a storyline of just one of these games.
It would take like 2 hours.
It's crazy how...
Or 3.
It's crazy
Maybe
how...
5.
It's crazy how... Oh, I was just expecting you to do it again.
6.
It's crazy how they have such like in-depth storylines to these games. And it sucks because we don't have as many games like that anymore that go as in-depth.
Keyword... downloadable content. That's why.
You download the story,
Even though I will praise CD Projekt Red, because The Witcher 3 was a complete game, and its DLC was add-ons to the complete game. So CD Projekt Red did that. If more game companies did that, I feel like the gaming community would be less salty, in a sense, and everybody would be... happier, everybody would love the games more, because, like, I know a bunch of people love The Witcher 3. I'm still working on it. I mean, yeah, I kind of put it off, but right now I'm working on it, and so far, I think it's phenomenal. I mean, the game is great. The mechanics, everything. It's awesome.
Right. I haven't played The Witcher 3 yet. I need to get into it.
If I didn't have it on Xbox, I'd give it to you.
Thanks. You're in your freaking Xbox, man.
Hey, I have a PS4 too, full disclaimer. I like it a little bit better.
Oh, no. Okay.
But more friends of mine play Xbox, so...
Well, yeah.
I'm kind of a...
Well,
I'm a rogue agent, I guess you could say.
I mean, we both grew up playing PlayStation.
I know.
So that's kind of...
Until I got my 360.
And it's not... I mean, it's not the fact that one's better than the other. It's just the fact we grew up playing that one more.
Yeah, the controller is definitely better, personally, to me, for RPGs. And I like the Xbox controller better for shooters. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't get that information off the internet. That's just my opinion.
Oh, opinions.
I know, it's crazy. Did you know, according to some people, opinions can be wrong? Well, that's...
Yeah, I mean, they can, Scott.
No, opinions can't be wrong because it's your opinion.
They can be wrong, Scott. Get over it.
I mean, I'm just saying. But, I mean, I don't know what else to say. You got any questions or anything? Any questions to ask me? Do I have any questions? No, I don't have any questions to ask you, or I would have asked them already.
Thanks. Okay, we're going to end this episode here. Thank y'all for tuning in. Yeah, bye.
See ya.
Hey, if you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, and we'll see you in the next episode. See ya!